All right, y'all, what we're going to be talking about today is globalists revving up plans to engineer global famine and starvation. 13 nations agreed to convert over to less productive green farming methods. And what we're learning is that all green methods are less productive. So we're going to jump into this article. I'll link it and pin it down below in the show notes. This comes from Leo Homan. The global climate call is getting ready to kick its war on food into overdrive, with 13 nations, many of them major cattle and food producing states, led by the US, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, and Spain, signing onto a commitment to place farmers under new restrictions intended to reduce emissions of methane gas. The Global Methane Hub announced in a May 17 press release that agriculture and environmental ministers and ambassadors from 13 countries, including the United States, have signed a commitment that pledges to reduce methane emissions in agriculture. And the U.S. was represented by Biden's climate czar, John Kerry. John Heinz Kerry. What does this mean and why should you care? We'll break it down. According to the press release issued by these nations at Global Methane Hub last month, April 2023, the Global Methane Hub collaborated with the Ministries of Agriculture of Chile and Spain to convene the first ever global ministerial on agricultural practices to reduce methane emissions. The ministerial brought together high-ranking government members to share global perspectives on methane reduction and low-emission food systems. The gathering led to a statement in which the nations committed to support efforts to improve the quality and quantity of and access to finance for climate change adoption and mitigation measures in the agriculture and food sectors, and to collaborate on efforts aimed at lowering methane emissions in agriculture and food systems.
So what they're going to be doing is reducing methane by reducing the animals.
Correct.
So instead of like, oh, let's go at this at a more permaculture type of way, they're going to be like,
instead of fixing
get rid
the
of all of
problem.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, either get rid of the animals, call the animals, or prevent the farmers from doing their job and restricting them through regulations and the same regulations that they will break so that they can have their steak while we eat
hundreds
the bugs.
of thousands of times they will break their own laws and regulations.
This is a value for value proposition, y'all. If you do appreciate the information that we provide, please go on over to TheTexasBoys.com and get yourself some honey money while it's in stock. The gallons are going fast.
It's unvaccinated and it is not pasteurized, so it has all the good stuff in it. And also we have our own coffee line, ranging from normal coffees to flavored coffees to CBD coffees and lion's mane coffee, and so much more. And also, our website and our business does not support any of this garbage. We renounce all of this junk. And guess what? Our company, for the forever future, will not go woke. So go check out TheTexasBoys.com. It's the best way to support what we do here on the farm.
Conference participants included the Food and Agriculture Organizations of the United Nations, Climate and Clean Air Coalition, Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, the World Bank, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and the Inter-American Development Bank. Now, one thing they didn't talk about is about wars all over the globe and the military-industrial complex and bombs and, automatic weapons that Ukrainians can use and missiles, right? And bombs and all this stuff, right? Like all that stuff's cool. all that stuff's great for the environment.
Oh yeah.
And
Absolutely.
a global world war, that's really awesome for the environment.
But those backyard chickens, absolutely
those farting cows.
Yep, absolutely not. Can't have those.
The World Bank, another creation of the post-World War II U.S.-led liberal rule-based order, has been talking a lot lately, along with the UN, about a coming famine. The World Bank issued a white paper just last week on May 22 entitled Food Security Update, World Bank Response to Rising Food Insecurity. And it's really great. It's very easy to predict a coming famine when you are doing everything in your power and influence to actually create that famine. So it's really easy to be Nostradamus and predict it when all of your everything else you're doing at the Build-A-Bear and all this other stuff, you're actually participating and basically planting the charged blast for the internal self-destruction of what you're predicting is going to come. So it's curious to me that at the very time the globalists are warning about food shortages and famine, their mouthpieces at World Bank, the UN, and within the administrations of the US and its allies, notice China and Russia, are nowhere to be found in these preposterous anti-food policies, are talking about converting over to a new and unproven form of sustainable farming that's focused more on reducing methane than it is on producing the highest yields of food. And this is by design. This is the Anglo-American establishment. Brzezinski and Kissinger hand-selected and chose China, right? And if you can have this arch nemesis boogeyman, right, that doesn't have any of the constraints, and then you constrain all the other allies, right, then you give them an very unnatural and an artificial and a created advantage so that you can keep the world in chaos, right? And that's how you divide and conquer, just the same way they do with the general population of every country by dicing us up into different groups and, making us bite and devour one another. Modern food production is bad, they tell us, because it produces methane, which supposedly harms the environment. Food systems are responsible for 60% of methane emissions, and that's a total, absolute lie, besides the fact of all of the deep sea methane and underwater volcanoes
that
and
they
above
can
ground,
never stop.
Yeah, above ground
way.
volcanoes. They know that all of this is just P mining data, and it's preposterous and stupid. Marcelo Mina, CEO of Global Methane Hub, we congratulate, and why is there a CEO of Global Methane Hub? We congratulate countries willing to take the lead in food systems, methane mitigation, and confirm our commitment to support this type of initiative with programs that explore promising methane mitigation technologies and the underpinning research of methane mitigation mechanisms to create new technologies. John Kerry is also very excited about taking valuable productive farmland offline, reducing the size of cattle herds, and turning our food production systems over to technocrats and globalists, offering vague promises of new technologies.
So they're going to take all this beautiful farmland and put gigantic toxic solar fields and wind turbines on it with cricket
and bug farms,
with bug farms all around them. It will be a beautiful utopia.
But don't worry, there's new technologies. It's halophytes. Halophytes grown in saline.
Captain Halophytes got us kicked off of YouTube, so
Halophytes. Okay. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the U.S. is busy trying to mitigate methane emissions not just in America, but worldwide. Stating on its website, the United States provides key leadership, funding and technical expertise for the international methane emission reduction effort, resulting in more than 1,140 methane mitigation projects through GMI as of 2021. In just one example, the Biden administration, check this out, y'all. One example, the Biden administration plans to spend $1.5 million in taxpayer funds on a program aimed at empowering female climate change activists in the patriarchal society of northern Kenya.
Isn't that like kind of judgy, female?
It's very.
Why would you assume
not
that?
only is it judgy, there's lots of assumptions
I'm
there.
very offended right now.
You're assuming a patriarchy, and you're assuming that those patriarchs are actually male, and then you're assuming that the female climate change activists are female.
Yeah.
There's lots of problematic. Your everyday Ouroboros when it comes to the liberal left. It sounds to me like Kenya has resources that needs to be robbed from. John Kerry said in a statement, mitigating methane is the fastest way to reduce warming in the shorter term. Food and agriculture can contribute to a low methane future by improving farmer productivity and resilience. We welcome agriculture ministers participating in the implementation of the Global Methane Pledge. Thank you, Lurch. In May 17, press release further states that the focus of the conference was the deployment of science-based practices, innovation, and technologies in line with sustainable food production. What's really neat is that they're going to allocate more money that we don't have, that they've been able to procure by raising the debt ceiling.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, you're welcome.
So
thank you.
Very sustainable.
But this is why we urge people, grow your own food, get out of the densely populated areas so you have a little bit of room, so you can like move your elbows and not bump into people and have a little bit of dirt to plant something. By the way, this month will be, for any of y'all that are like in an apartment or in a confined space, we're going to be showing you a really awesome option for growing some high quality food.
Really?
So
awesome.
Keep an eye out on that. It's
awesome.
going to be, it's pretty cool and exciting. So we like to bring you solutions and stuff. So that's
no
what
way.
That's
really?
What we try to do.
Wow.
We try to live the answer. We try to demonstrate.
I thought we were just a bunch of fear mongers here on YouTube.
No, we do try to share information and be productive.
Wow.
And when we're not doing that, we're actually being productive and trying to put food on a family. Trick me once, shame on you. Trick me twice, won't be fooled again. Okay? So, Trump 2024. I'm not going to start. Okay. But yeah, this article goes on and on with limits to growth, you know, and you have all of your Malthusian mumbo jumbo and your inconvenient hockey sticks and all that kind of stuff. And it just shows you, so you can read it all down below, but it's still happening, y'all. And
sadly.
And what's more, all you have to do is look up diversity, equity, and inclusion, and basically take any quasi-major corporation you can think of, whether it be Chick-fil-A, whether it be H-E-B, whether it be Brookshire's, whether it be Target, whether it be Aldi's, and you will find
Azure, too.
Azure Standard.
However the heck you want to say that.
Yep. Azure Standard.
They're all going woke.
Straight blown DEI. I was just doing a corporate contract for a commercial job with Hormel, and they had a whole on their vendor contract. They had a whole DEI thing on there as part of the vendor contract. And currently you can check a box that says does not currently apply, but there will be in very soon, whether it's a week or a year or whatever, that box won't be optional, you know. And this is where we're going. And as these people go all social credit, and then that gets linked with digital currency, you will not be able to buy food. So you really 100%. Need to think about that. And if you are stuck in an apartment, you're in a densely populated area, you will not be able to buy food.
Nope.
Unless you meet all of the criteria and you denounce who you are and what you believe.
Yeah, you will own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you will be able to buy nothing unless you're willing to spew some propaganda lines. So
love y'all. See y'all in the next video.
See ya.